Good morning, everybody. I got two WNBA bangers for you guys to lock in. We have two games on the WNBA betting slate for tonight, and I have a play in each game for you guys to hammer. Now, yesterday I gave out three WNBA picks on this YouTube channel. Unfortunately, went 1-2 in those picks, so not a great start to the post All-Star break WNBA season. But that's how things go. For today, I'm very confident in the two picks that I have. Real quick, before we get into it, number one, if you're not already, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps me out a ton. And then I also have a membership option for my YouTube channel as well. So if you're interested in becoming a Jedi in training, just go ahead and check out the very first link in the description of the video, as well as the pinned comment. Let's get into these picks. So as I mentioned, I got two for you guys. The first one is going to be the Fever versus Mystics game total to go under 158.5. This is at minus 118 odds at Fox Bet. Now I will say both of these picks are going to be on Fox Bet, with this first one obviously being the under in the Fever versus Mystics. Now both of these plays are positive expected value. We're getting a really good number on Fox Bet, compared to the other books. For this play specifically, Pinnacle had it at like 156.5. FanDuel and a bunch of other books had it at 157.5. So we are getting a really good line under 158.5. Obviously, we're paying for that a little bit at minus 118 odds, but the value is still there. Now, looking at this game specifically, both of these teams, the Fever and the Mystics, are middle of the pack offenses that play at a slow pace. The Fever play at the second slowest pace in the WNBA, while the Mystics play at the fifth lowest. Obviously, the total being as low as it is at 158.5 is taking that into account, obviously, or I guess you should say the books are taking this into account when they price the total, but both of these teams have the tendency to slow the game down, which is why the total is as low as it is. Looking at the team's units, the Mystics allow the second lowest opponent points per game at 78.8 points per game is what they allow. And then they also have the second best defense just according to defensive net rating. So the Mystics do a very good job at slowing the other team's offense down in terms of the pace and scoring in general. Now, offensively, the real reason why I am on this under is because the Mystics are banged up a ton with the players on their team. And that generally has a bigger effect on offense than it does on defense, especially when you look at the players missing, like Elena Delle Donne. So the Mystics are going to be counting on role players to step up offensively. That's always going to spell trouble for a team scoring, obviously. And then also just it being the first game back from the All-Star break, I will project the Mystics to score a little bit under their season average and have this game go under 158.5. Next up, in the Wings versus Liberty game, we are taking another under, this time at 171.5, and this is at minus 110 odds. Now, I will admit, this one is a little bit scarier, which we'll get into. The Liberty are a heavy over team with 11 towards the over, 6 towards the under in terms of their games played this year. The Wings are a little bit closer to an under team with 8 of their games going over and 12 going under, but this is another play where we are getting a great value, and that's obviously the most important thing. BetOnline has this total at 170. All other books have it at 170.5 or 171. FoxBet is the only book that does have this at 171.5, so obviously that bodes well for us. Both of these teams are pretty good defensively. They're both in the top 5 in defensive efficiency. The Liberty are 4th and the Wings are 5th. The Liberty give up the 4th fewest points per game at 81.2 is what their opponents average against them. The Wings are middle of the pack. They're 6th, which is literally directly in the middle, allowing their opponents to score 82 points per game. Looking at the average score for both of these teams are both below the 171.5 mark. But the scary part is both of these teams are good offensively, and they both play at a pretty fast clip. The Liberty have the second best offense in the WNBA. The Wings have the 4th best. But obviously, similar with the first play, the books are taking this into account when they make the total, right? The total is 13 points higher for this one than it is the Fever versus Mystics. If these two scores were flipped, then it would be obvious. But unfortunately, that's not the case, and it's not obvious. But with this, again, being the first game back from the All-Star break, things are always a little bit wonky, and maybe the offenses are a little bit rusty. That always seems to affect the offenses more than anything else. So I project this to be a little bit lower scoring than the projection, or I should say what Fox Bet has the total at. So I like this one to go under, rounding out my 2 picks for this video. So if you are tailing, comment and let me know. Other than that, remember, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out the membership options if you're interested. Thanks for watching and have a good one.